Okay, welcome to class. This is class number 11 of CAD for Construction, spring semester 2026, and we're going to continue on. We're working on the custom garage project. This is week 2 of that project, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So, hello everybody who's here, and those who may be joining on the video. So let me just go ahead and get this going here. So, how are we doing here? Let's see here. We have, all right. All right. Sierra will not be here. That's right. Jennifer Collins is here. Nicholas Cowie, not here. Alan Flowers is here. Good. Aiden Grinnell. Yeah, hey, Aiden, how you doing? Quinn. Yeah, Amadou not here. Anna is here. All right. Philip, nope, not here. Jacob here and up front. Paul Rodriguez, not here. Anthony, yes. Hello, Anthony. How you doing? Okay. Addison. Yep. And Kinea is not here yet. Maybe in a minute. Ace not here. And Elisha is not here. Wow, that's eight not here. 7. Okay. Okay, well, good to have everybody here. So go ahead and open up your project. We left off last week, and it actually looked like this. We got done, it looked basically like that. We got that far. And what we'd done is we did the exterior walls, and we also did the doors. We dimensioned everything, and we learned basically how to start to make sure that our dimensions are accurate. Another thing I want to point out is when you are working in a project here is that you're going to typically have a set of construction documents, which is what this represents. This right here, this document right here represents essentially a set of construction documents. And those, being the case, are actually, it always consists of typically some kind of a title page, your first floor plan, second floor plan, your elevations, and then on top of that, you've got your foundation plan, a wall section. The wall section is something that actually is quite important, and then you have the custom garage with the schedules. So we have that. So this is essentially, and the schedules, the way that works, that's essentially a listing. One of the things that you get with Revit is when you create a project in Revit, what you actually get from there is you actually get a complete listing of everything that's in there. So if you've got walls that actually will, like for instance, right here in this room right here, you've got this painted wall surfaces. You've got gypsum wallboard, and so therefore, what you would do is, as you put this together, you could actually then, when you're all done, you could actually then just simply total up the actual surface square footage, and then basically get an estimate as far as like how much that would be, how much it would cost, just by using a cost times your linear feet with the height, you do that. So this is commonly done now as far as like for construction documentation, for construction management and so forth, this is done. The same is true with flooring, the same is true for doors. In this case, both of these garage doors would be there. The window would be there. This would be also included, which would be the pull-on annex there. So when you're all done with this, you can actually get a very accurate estimate as far as how that is. Then typically what you do is you add some amount for waste, okay? Usually I think it's around 10% for overage, that kind of a thing. So you make that happen. So that is where we're going with this whole thing. But every time you're ever going to put anything together for a customer, you are always going to have to give them a set of construction documents. That's it. That's the deliverable. Typically, that's what they're after, some design and something goes together that does that. So that's ultimately where we're going with this whole thing here. Okay, well, let's go ahead, and I've given people enough time to get in here. Let's go ahead and start to teach, and we'll go ahead and do that. And thank you for those of you who have come in here. I do appreciate it, and it will show up on your grade because I'd said that showing up is 50% of your grade, and I do like punctuality, so I think you should be rewarded for that, and you will be. Okay, So anyway, and also just to bring it back up, I will not be able to be here on Thursday, this Thursday or next Thursday. I apologize for that. Just I can't get there, but I will make sure that we cover everything. We're right on course right now, so we don't have any problems with that. Okay, right on schedule. So we've got this going on right here. So let's go ahead and do a deep dive on this. So going into this right now and taking a look at the at this document right here, we've got this and we've completed the first, essentially the shell of the building, the envelope of the building is what we have right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop these down a little bit here like that. And what we're going to do right now is, let me get this down here. All right, good to see you there, Amadou. Good to have you here. Give you credit for being here. All right, very good. And so now that we got this, what we're going to do is getting into this whole thing. What we want to do next is now we have the basics. Okay, now what do we still need? Well, let's take a look down here. If you take a look at here, there is no floor. So there's no floor. Unless you guys put one in on your own, you don't have that right there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put that in. So to put the floor in, we go here to level 1. And when you go to level 1, we've talked about this before. One thing I want to show you is you zoom in right here. Notice how my lines are nice and thin. If you zoom into your upper right corner, you may notice that they don't look that thin. And the reason why is there's a toggle right up here. This is your thin lines. This lets you basically do exactly that. Thin the lines out or leave them bold. Okay, either way. But you click on this, it toggles this way. And so you can see there's a huge difference if you want to be accurate. This is a very important thing as you're working in Revit. You want to pay attention to that. So right now we have this. And so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the floor. So the floor for this right now is simply going to be, and we can all do this together. I think you guys understand how to do this. We're going to floor, and I'm going to use floor architectural. Now, when I do this, I'm not going to use a wood joist floor finish. I'm going to use I want to use a concrete floor, so I've got a 12-inch, generic 12-inch will work. So we'll just go ahead and use generic 12-inch floor. So now we do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my rectangular command. Rectangle lets me just pick one corner and then the other corner. It makes it very easy. So I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to zoom in right here. Now notice what I'm doing here. I'm zooming in, and I want to grab this outside corner. And when I touch that corner, you're going to see that magenta purple endpoint object snap. So I'm going to click there, and then it's going to pull it all the way down. And I want to go outside to outside. If you don't, it looks kind of goofy. So I'm going to go here and go like that. And that's what you want to do. So you want to define it like that, going from one corner to the other. And then you have a choice to make. If you got it right, if you think you got it right, you can click the green check mark. If you're quite sure you didn't, you can click the red X. So red X basically terminates it. That's aborts mission. Green check mark means you want to actually find out whether it worked. So we click on that. And when you do that, this shows up like this. You're going to notice that it actually gives you a concrete finish. And if I go to my 3D view right here, now we have this right down here, which looks pretty cool. So we have that going on. Any questions about that work for you guys? Okay, so we have that going on. And so that is where we are. Okay, so moving on from there, the next thing that we have moving along here is this next bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and go like this. Now notice what you got here. Taking a look at this right now. Hi, Kanaya. Hi, Kanaya. Good to have you here. And yeah, so we are just opening up this project. We put a floor in, and now we're going to do the next thing right now. So the next thing right now is, as I take a look at this, let me ask you a question here. When you look at this view, what you've got going on here is you have the actual floor right here, but then you have this. What do you suppose this bit is right here? Around the perimeter. Yeah. Okay. It's foundation. It's actually foundation. It's a slab edge is what they call it. And what they do is they actually thicken the slab and make it deeper on the edge. So it's kind of like a tooth around the perimeter, kind of digging in. So you put this on when you have a slab like this to keep it from shifting. It's commonly done. And so when you got something like this, that is how we have it. So what you do is to put that in. Once you got your floor in, this particular item right here, if I click on it, it tells me what it is. And this is actually a slab edge. It's a thickened 24-inch by 12-inch thickened slab edge. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put one in. over here. It's easy to do. So if I go here, I'm just going to tilt this up. Now watch this. This is kind of cool here. And I'm going to go right up here. And to get that thickened slab edge, I'm going to go over here to structure. And I'm going to go here to slab. Okay, so you go to the structure tab. And we don't do too much with structure, but we will here. I'm going to make an exception. We're going to go to floor slab edge. Can you guys see this right here? Okay, so you click on slab edge. Now watch this. This is kind of cool. So if you just touch the edge like this, boom, it gives you that. And you just go around. See that? How that actually it kind of projects into the soil to hold it in place. And that is what you do. So you put that in. This is, again, commonly done. It's a structural thing. Those of you that may pursue this a bit further, going into the structural elements of it, this is one of the very foundational things you got right there. But that allows you to very simply, very easily put in a slab edge. When you take a look at it, it looks like this right here. So that is it. So you should be able to do that. And let me see how you guys are doing here. See if that's working for you guys. Okay, looks like you're getting there. Yeah, all right. Okay, so it's...
I gotta put my floor in first.
Yeah. So put your floor in. That's a generic 12-inch floor. So we're going to do that, and then we move on to the next thing. So it's under the structure tab, and it's called a slab edge. And you click the edges of the floor you put in.
So am I using the line or am I using a square?
You want to use the rectangle. It's going to be, you could use either, but the rectangle's easier. And you want to go outside edge to outside edge. Yep. Okay. Once you're done making the floor, you hit the green check mark to accept it.
Put the slab in. Just
You go to structure,
yep.
And then you go to slab edge, which is yep, and then you just click on the edges as you go around. And you grab all the sides right there. Okay. Okay. Any questions before we go along? I think you guys are all there. All right. Now, just so that I can see you guys all have it, if you guys could all just kind of tip it up like that so I can see if you got that or not, that would be great. Just so I can kind of get an idea as far as if we're all on the same page, pretty much. Okay. Okay, Addison, you seeing that? Is that working for you okay? Yeah, what you want to do is to put this in. You're in this view right here, and what you'll do is you go to structure, which is here, and then you go here to slab, hit the drop down, and use floor slab edge. And then when you use that, you're just going to click on the edges of your floor, and that'll go ahead and give you that kind of a look that I've got right there. Yep, you want to just touch all four. Okay. Okay. All right. Looks good. Looks good. Looks you guys have all that. Okay, good. So what you want to do now is just go ahead and make sure you save your project. And just click save so that you got that and we're good to go. Okay, so now what we did is we added a floor. So we've got a floor on the first floor with a slab edge, and then we also have a floor for the second floor, and that's wood. And so we have this, and we also put in this right here. So we have all that right there. Now, next thing, let's see here. And we had kind of done that. Okay, now next we're going to do, now we're going to put on the roof. Now taking a look at this one. This is the final version. And the final version right here, if you take a look right here, you've got a roof. And this roof it's a basic wood rafter 8-inch asphalt shingle roof with a 9 by 12 roof pitch. Okay, so it's also got a 1 foot overhang all the way around. So this is what we're going to do is we're going to go to level 2. Let's go to level 2 because whenever you're putting a floor plan on, you want to go to level 2. Okay, so we're going to do this right now. Now, one thing, Kanaya, that I just noticed is I think you added some floor, a couple floors. Let me just kind of, just get rid of those. We don't need those. And the thing is, we will put walls in. But we're going to do it differently. So just get rid of those right now. Okay. So now what we're going to do here is looking at it from the second floor. We're going to do this. We're going to go to our roof right here. So click on roof. And we're going to choose, out of all these, there's different ways to make roofs. You got roof by footprint, roof by extrusion, and so forth. But we're just going to use roof by footprint. So click on roof by footprint, just like that. Okay, you do that. Now, once you do that, it should say right now, your overhang does yours say overhang 1'3"? Okay, good. Well, let's change this. Let's change our basic roof. To change the basic roof to a different style, we're going to click this little triangle over here. And we will choose wood rafter 8-inch asphalt shingle insulated, which is right here. So I'm going to click on that, and that's going to give us this. And that's what this looks like. So you've got that. And so we have this wood rafter 8-inch asphalt shingle. That's what we have. Now, the other thing I'm going to point out is this says defined slope. We are going to make a flat roof, and then we'll put the slope in later. So uncheck defined slope. Up here, uncheck defined slope. All right. So then we're just going to touch this outside wall, and we'll see a dashed blue line shows up above. And we're going to go around the perimeter, just like I'm doing right now. By the way, this sketching we're doing right now actually comes in to play with many things. It's how we define roofs. It's how we define floors. It's how we define ceilings. It's how we define topology. It's how we define a lot of things, okay, as far as that goes. So we have this right here. So you just want to get used to this. And once you have it in place, you hit the green check mark, and it's going to say, would you like to attach highlighted walls to the roof? You can say attach. That's fine. So we have that. Now, we'll take a look at how it looks, and it looks like this over here. So that's what it looks like, which is, again, kind of goofy, but that's okay. You guys all see this kind of look here? All right, so it's kind of plain Jane, okay, because we didn't put any slope on it. So we're going to put a slope on it right now. So put a slope on it. I'll just show you an easy way to do it. From this view, just double click on it. And when you double click on it, you'll see that you now see the purple lines when you double click on it. So now we want to select one of the lines on the side. Okay, so the side that the garage doors are not on, the large ones. So we'll click here. And then we go ahead and choose define slope. We want to go define slope for that side, and we want to do it over on this one too. So this one right here. So opposite sides, we're going to define a slope on opposite sides just like that. So we'll do.
We're putting this on this level 2, right?
It's on level 2, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because it's not. It's actually going to my level 1. It's going where we put the 4 in.
Okay, we'll get. I'll help you in just a second there. So for right now, you can just make the floor, then we'll adjust it. So go ahead and do that, and then click on your green check mark, and it should look like that when you're done. Okay. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. All right. And so now you're seeing it's got that, familiar gable roof type look to it. Okay. Okay, looks like, okay, so what you want to do, Kanaya, is just go ahead and double click on the roof. So double click on the roof. Yeah, now grab the line to the far right, click on it. Yep, and then up on the top on your ribbon, it says define slope right over the, yeah, right there, perfect. And then you want to do it for the left side, use define slope there, and hit your green check mark, and you're good to go. Looks good, looks great. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now we, looks like we pretty much all have that in place. Okay, good. So now we're going to continue on here. Now that we got that, we're going to continue, and always a good idea to save your work. So go ahead and click on save. So we have that. Now, next thing we're going to do is there's a roof, actually a window that needs to go into place right here. We don't have that yet. So this window right here is there. It's a double hung with trim, 36 by 48. So to do this, we're going to go to level 2. So you want to go to level 2. So go ahead and go to level 2. We're going to put that right over here. It's going to go right over to this area right here. So to do that, we're going to go to window. And that one is what? Okay, and that one is called. Let me just kind of get that real quickly. That window is identified as window number 2, and that is on the schedule. It's double hung with trim, 36 by 48. So we're going to go over here and change this by clicking down here. Double hung with trim, 36 by 48, which is right here. Most recently used type, so let's go ahead and grab that. And then when I pull my cursor over here, you're going to notice that it will go ahead and try to put it at the halfway mark, which it does. I click, and it drops it right in just like that. So it should drop it in like that. And then my my tag, I'm going to click on this, drag it outside like that. And then I'm going to take a look at it in 3D. And it should look like that now. So now you've got pretty much all the basic elements of this particular design. Pretty straightforward in putting that together. So once you get that, take a look at it in 3D so we can all see what we got there. All right. Yep, looking good, everyone. Okay, looks good, everybody. And you want to make sure you save that, and so that we've got that saved. All right. Okay. So we take a look at it in 3D, and we are looking good. Okay, great. Okay, very good, everybody. Now, let's continue. So now that we got that, we have put this together, and this looks good. Now, you may say, oh, well, hey, I'm all done. Well, it would be nice, but we're not quite there yet. What we're going to do now is now we got to start to do something else here. Now, the next we have to do here is look in your book on page, not your book, look on page A-5. And I'm going to go ahead and put some lights on for you. Look on page A5. Let's talk about this. All right, this right here, the title over on the far right, it says it's a wall section. Now, a wall section, anytime you're working with this is one of the things, and did I tell you guys I built a house in Michigan? Did I tell you that? Did I tell you guys that? Okay, I did actually. So I built a house in Michigan, and I was only 31, and I designed this thing, and I had a friend. Now, I would never have done it, but I had a friend who was a builder, and his name was Bernie Schwarzenegger, and he was a Mennonite, and he was about the most honest man I've ever met in my life. The guy was incredible, and he had that Mennonite work ethic. Did anyone grow up around Mennonites or Amish around you at all? No? No? None of you? Really? Wow. What's that? They're further down south. Okay, yeah, because there's not. You're right. There's not too many. Anyway, up in Clayton, I had never when I grew up in Detroit, so I heard Mennonites. I didn't know what they were really. But Bernie was a Mennonite. I didn't really quite understand all that, except I knew they were really religious, very strict, and their work ethic was just crazy good work ethic. And so anyway, and Bernie was exactly that. He's a great guy. Kind of a sad story. He had 3 kids. They had 3 kids, and all 3 of them were severely mentally handicapped. I mean, three. I mean, boom, boom, boom. And by the time the first one was kind of they're noticing something's wrong with him, the second one comes along even worse, and then they're afraid of number three when they figured out, oh my gosh, you know. And anyway, so he was just a great guy. He built his own house, and Bernie actually came to me and says, "Hey Tom, how'd you like to build a house?" And I said, "Bernie, I don't have the money to build a house like that. You know, it's like I'm lucky to have the house I have." He goes, "Well," he goes, "I want to build a spec home. You know what a spec home is? Spec home. A spec home is what a builder does. So what a builder does is what they will do is they'll say, well, to show what I can do, they will build a home that's basically so people can take a look at it. You know, it's such that kind of thing. So we talked about it. We came with a dollar amount, and he didn't make much money on it at all. But we decided to do it. We did it, and so we did that. I had to come up with a set of plans, which I did, and that was the first time I ever really knew what a wall section was. But a wall section, what you're doing right there is you're literally slicing through the wall to see what's in it. How does this wall go together? Now, why do we do this? Why is this something you have to do? The reason why is this. Whenever you're dealing with a set of construction plans, you have to make it clear enough so that anybody who has a set of plans can't screw it up. That's really it. Now, why is this? Because we live in a litigious society. Everybody sues everybody for everything. There's a lawsuit. If you don't get it right, someone's going to screw up. So here's the other thing. So what that does besides that is it actually forces you to be really, really good with your set of drawings. But not only that, to document stuff. I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but I don't have a set of construction documents here. But pretty much anytime you get a set of construction documents, there's going to be like pages of text and installation stuff and manufacturer stuff and caveats and, you know, all this stuff. And the reason why is to prevent lawsuits. Because what happens is if you get into a situation where there is some kind of a debate, then the money stops flowing. And that's a real problem. So that's bad for everybody. When I was in Detroit, I worked for this major hospital that it was literally the size of a city. I'm not exaggerating that. It was on 13 Mile, 5 miles outside of Detroit. If you ever heard of 8 Mile by Eminem, okay, 13 miles, 5 miles down the road. And so it was this hospital in Royal Oak, Michigan. And it was literally a city. It had its own power plant. And to this day, it's the largest single campus hospital in the United States. So what happened is I saw what happened when things went south. And what happens when things go south, it's not pretty. It's not at all. So you've got your union right there. And if the union doesn't like it, they simply walk off the project. They will just they'll leave their tools or pick up their tools, depending on one of the two, but they aren't working anymore. They just leave and they walk off the project. They don't like something. It's not pretty. But what happened is this, because of this right now, I was actually in the department that actually was kind of like a liaison between the architect who was in Minnesota and the hospital and our building manager, Barton Mallow, which is in Detroit area. And so what would happen is we would be doing some kind of a thing, and there'd be a discussion about something. And rather than get into some big thing, they would say, okay, like I'll give you an example, like that door right there. Let's say that door that you see right here, this door had to actually move down the wall 6 feet, and the door swing had to change. If that right there, you would think that can't be too hard. That's a $20,000 addition in $1992, okay, which would be like maybe $60,000 today. So it's just kind of like for a door swing, but that you got to put out a bulletin, you got to reprint, you got to tell the union people, everyone's got to sign off on it. So what they would literally do, I'm not making this up, they would build the place with the wrong door. They would get their certificate of occupancy, and as soon as they did, they would tear it all out and move the door. Why? Well, because
on the grand.
What's that now?
It's cheaper than 20 grand.
It's cheaper than 20 grand. And the thing is, it keeps everybody happy. And unless it's a major thing, you just do that. But the whole thing is, you don't want to get into major things. You do not want to get into major things. Changing gears, let me ask you another question now. Does anybody here either enjoy Lego or have a kid that enjoys Lego or used to enjoy Lego? Anybody at all? All right, there's no shame here. You're amongst friends. I actually I love Lego. I tell you this, I built the big Saturn V, which is a meter tall. Yeah, I built it was crazy fun anyway. But anyway, the thing about Lego, and going, I think I talked about this before. I told my other students about this. But anyway, the thing that makes Lego so amazing is when you open up a set of Lego instructions, there's no words. There's no words. It's any language can look at it. It's all pictures. And because no one's going to sue you if you get it wrong, they don't have to put words in there. So pictures are enough, you know. And if you get your pictures good enough, if you get your graphics good enough, everybody's happy. So that's why you want to get this. You want to make as many drawings as necessary so that whoever is looking at this can get it done and get it done right. So that's what's going on with this, and that's why we do this. So now that we've talked about that, the wall section is what we have to have next. So let me show you what a wall section is. Because the wall section is one of those kind of things that as you're looking at this, in some ways is kind of an outlier. Okay, so let me show you how this works. So we go to the wall section. Now here's a wall section right here. This is what we're going to make right now. Now, what we're looking at right now, this is the completed version right now. This is on page A5, and this is a wall section. Now, when you take a look at this right now, you can see that there are a number of items that are being called out here. You have your concrete floor with actually your slab edge right here. But then you've got some other things right here. You've actually got the actual elements of the wall defined. 3/4 inch plywood sheathing on the inside. You got a 2x4 stud. You got insulation. 3x4, 3/4 inch plywood sheathing on the exterior. And then you also have 1/2 inch siding on the outside. So all these elements come together and they make up a wall sandwich, okay? And that's what you have all going on here. And whenever you are putting together anything, you have to put in a wall section. You have to. So now taking a look at this, you also have some other elements here. Now, some of these elements are actually automatically generated when you are working in Revit, and some are not. So here's the dirty little secret. We've been looking at Revit, and Revit is way cool. Revit does all kinds of cool things. It's this building information modeler. But then it reaches a point where the state of the art of technology for Revit right now, and for building modeling and this kind of thing, it's only so good. Okay, so what that means is you cannot actually get as far as you need to get just with Revit alone. So you have to cheat and put in some 2D elements. So you actually kind of switch and go to like just AutoCAD is really what you're doing. So that's literally how it is. When someone first told me this, I said, that's totally bogus. That can't be true. It totally is true. When you're putting together a set of construction documents, it's a hybrid. It's going to be part Revit model, and it's going to be part items that are actually taken out of, taken actually from the 2D elements that you draw in there. So let me show you how this works. I'm going to take your screens over for a minute to show you how this works. Just explain the concept because it's a little bit weird. Okay, but let me just kind of go here. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to show my screen here, and I'm going to go ahead and do this. Boom. And so now we take a look. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, so now over here, what we're going to do is this. I take a look at this, and what I've got going on is this is all looking like this right now. Now, let me show you what happens if I do this to our project. So here is our project over here, and this is it right here. This is where I've got to so far. Actually, not there. Let me go to, this is the one. So I'm over here, and this is what I made so far. And if I go here, and this is my 3D view right there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at level 1. So I'm taking a look at this. I'm looking straight down at it. Okay, now I take a look straight down at it. What I want to do is I want to put in an actual section view, a wall section. Okay, so to do that, what I'm going to do is let's go over. See if this is the right one. Yes, not that one. This one right here. Okay, so I want this one. So going over to here, if I go to level 1 here. All right. Now over here, what I'm going to take a look at, this is what I want it to look like right here. So if I click on this right here, do you see this right here? This is actually what is being viewed. This is actually the section that I want. That's where I'm going to get to right here. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to make a wall section just like that in my project. Okay, so I go into here and I'm going to do this. Now, when you get into this right now, the tool that you want to use is right here. You can actually find it in a few different places. It's called a section. And the section marker, basically it cuts through the model and then lets us go ahead and take a look at something. You can see it looks like that there. So it looks like this. It looks like a circle with a triangle, and it's right next to your thin lines. So I click on this. Now, when you do this, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start at the top, and you're going to click and you're just going to bring it straight down like this. Okay, when you do that, it's going to say none of the created elements are visible in the floor plan level 1 view because I've hidden this, okay? So to turn that on, we talked about this before, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go here and I'm going to click on this. Remember this right here, reveal hidden elements? It says blue light bulb. So I click on that and there it is. Now this, don't be freaked out over this right here. This is an underlay that I actually used to make this right here, but this is what you want. You guys see this right here? So you click on this. And what I want to do with that one, when I have that, is I click on it, I click on the actual line, I right click, I go to unhide and view, and go to category, and it does that. And then I click on this, now it's a yellow light bulb, I go there, and now I see this, okay? So now once I do that, if I double click on this, it shows me this right now. So that's what this looks like. Now that's not quite what I want to see. So I'll go back here, I'm going to refine it. So I click on this right now, it's showing me, not that one, but over here, what I do is I click on this, and what I want to do is I want to take these and I want to refine it. So you see these controls right here. I can take this, and all I need to see is this wall here. I'm going to back it up to here because I only need to see this much. So just kind of pull it back like that, and that's really all you need. And you kind of pull it in so it's really kind of thin like that. And now when I double click on it, see that right there? That's what you want. Now that right there, when I take a look at this, it's showing me the basic elements, but it's missing a bunch of stuff. All right. I could not. Now, let me just kind of point something out here. If I were to give this to some people that were actually building this garage and say, yeah, build this garage, and they'd come up and they'd say, well, what goes there? Well, what do you have to do? Oh, just make that happen. How? And it's up to you to tell them how. And so we're going to keep it real simple. We're going to keep it real simple because that's how we're learning right now. So we're going to do that right now. So we've got this. Now, first of all, one of the secret weapons you have right here is something that we have not gotten into just yet. But right here, you've got this tool down here. This is your visual style hidden line. But to the left of it, this is your detail level. Now, the detail level right now says coarse. But if I click on this, and if I make it fine, watch what happens. I click on fine, and you see all this line came in? Okay, so over here, all right, now you see it, now you don't. Okay, so these commands right here, they actually do a lot of stuff. So I make that fine now. Oh, okay, well now I'm seeing some lines here. Okay, so now I'm seeing, you know, the wall sandwich that Tom talked about. Okay, great. But I'm still missing some stuff. And so what I have to do now is I have to make this work. So I'm going to refine this a little bit. First of all, I'm going to grab this. And this, whenever you click one of these wall sections, if you click on the actual rectangle around it, that's called a viewport. You can take it and you can kind of like just resize it, just like that. So you can go ahead and make that happen. So that's one thing. The other thing you don't need to see are the levels for right now. I mean, you might want to see them, but for right now, we don't want to. So I'm just going to right-click and go to Hide and View. That category. Now that's high. Now it's kind of looking a little bit better. Now, what does it need? What it needs is over here, if I go to my other wall section here and I take a look at it, if I take a look at this down here, it needs a few things. Okay, first of all, it needs this anchor bolt, but you also need this here, this bottom plate. Now, let me explain what that is. If it's not clear what's going on right there, if you were to slice a wall and go all the way down to the bottom in your garage or whatever, at the very bottom, what you would have is right here, you'd have a stud sitting right there on the floor. And that stud sitting on the floor. You probably know what I'm talking about right now. But the same is true of any wall. Any wall that's in a wood framed house right here, you got a stud down on the bottom. Does that make sense? Right? And then to hold it all together, you have an anchor bolt. The anchor bolt goes through here, gets bolted down, and actually turns into here to actually anchor it into the foundation. That's how this works. So all this mechanically works like this. Now those things, Revit does not have the intelligence to throw all that in there because there are an infinite number of different options that there could be here. So we have to draw it in here. So this is how you do that. So what you would do is going over here to the section one that I've made, I'm going to go here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in, down here at the bottom, I'm going to put in a stud. So the stud's going to go here. And so to do that, I'm going to go over here. Let's see here. Probably the easiest way to do it is if I click on component here. And if I go to component, I see this right here. If I click this drop down here, you'll see over here, is it here? Let's see here. I guess it's not. Let me see. Let me look up here. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. There's a few different ways to get it, and I guess this is not the way we're going to get it here. So I will show you another way to grab that. Okay, so what we're going to do instead of that, we're going to go over here to annotate. I'm going to annotate, and then I'm going to go here to component. Annotate, and then go to component. Now, when I go to component here, I can go to a detail component. Now, this gets interesting. I go to detail component, and then there's my anchor bolt right there. So I'm just going to drop my anchor bolt there. I'll come back for something else. You're not going to go here. And now what I want, can you see this right down here? Nominal cut lumber section. I've got a nominal cut lumber section. This is a 2x6. This is a 2x4. This is a 2x4 garage. So I'm going to grab this 2x4. Now watch this. I take this, and if I press my space bar, I can rotate it like that. And it goes right in there just like that. Pretty cool, huh? And then you can actually take these items and you can align them. I can't move this thing. I wish I could. Can I move this? Nope, I guess not. Okay, so I'm going to go like this. And I will go to modify. If I can do that. Modify. All right, go to modify. And I'm going to use align. Align is right here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on, let's see here, this line here. And I want to click the bottom of that. And then we have that. Okay, so I've got that, and then I can kind of move it over a little bit. Just using my arrow keys to kind of like center it. Okay, so now look at that. That's exactly what I have over in my wall section right there. It's the same thing. Same thing there. Section 1 is like this. I think this could, and actually this is the cool part here. If I click on this, I can actually pull it down a little bit. So you can actually do that. So all these things are really intelligent, let you do a lot with it. So what am I doing? I'm cheating. I'm actually cheating right now, and I'm making, I'm basically turning this Revit section into an AutoCAD drawing. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right here. So that is where I'm going with this right now. Now, moving on through this right now, what I would do is the other things I would need is over here. I go out of here and I'm going to put in these other things here. But I've also got right up here at the top, I have this joist right here, and this joist actually goes all the way over here and it carries over. Now, mine doesn't look like that. So I have to fix that too. So what I want to do is I have to kind of like change this somehow. So I'm going to get a Post-it note and put it over the top. All right, so how do I do that? Well, to make a Post-it note, you go over here to annotate, and you do what is called a region, and I can make a masking region, which is essentially like putting masking tape over the top of it, or a Post-it note. So click there, and I'll just go ahead and watch this. This is kind of cool here. I'm going to make a rectangle, and I'm going to go from here, and go over to here, and we'll just go like that, and I drop it there, hit my green check mark, and just like that, it does that. Okay. Kind of cool. And so now it looks like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then you could then draw a line. And so here I could just draw a detail line, and I could just simply go from here over to there, and I could go from here over to there, just like that. Now at that point, it looks like it's a solid joist going through. Does that make sense? All right, so that is how you go ahead and make that work. Now over here, I could leave, I actually probably should bring this back a hair like that, because that should be like that, and then I'd have to fix the other, but you get the idea. And so this is how you can go ahead and make that happen. I guess what I'll do is I'll leave this like that, and then and then I've got that going on, and we are good to go. And then I'll just draw a line here to kind of keep this going here. Go here to there, and now we're good to go. And now that should work. And sometimes zooming in and out, it kind of gives you a little bit of grief. That's just how that works. I'm going to go ahead and right here, I'm gonna bring this to the front. Will that work? Yeah, that's good. And then this right now, yeah, so we got that going on here. Yeah, for some reason it's giving me that. Let me see if I can't get it to, yeah, all right. There we go. Yeah, for some, yeah, as you're zooming in and out, it kind of does this sometimes. That's a graphic driver thing, but you just got to kind of get it in the right position, and then it'll kind of stay there for you. But anyway, it takes a little bit of dinking around. I'm going to go ahead and just go here, over to there again, down to here, and we should be good like that. And yeah, it's not showing either yet, so I'm going to... anyway, so you can that probably won't happen to you, but it's happening to me right now. But you get the idea that you can actually hide stuff. So you've got that. Now, once you've got that, the other thing you'd want to do is on top of that, I need a couple other, this is called a double top plate. This means at the top of every wall, you have 2 studs at the top. That's how those work. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in, and I'm going to go here to the same thing I used before. So under annotate again, this is where you go into component and you put in your detail component, and this is right here. So I'll press my space bar like that and go like that. Then I'll put another one right here like that and drop that there. And we'll hit that, modify, there we have that. Okay, now at this point, we're looking pretty good. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in installation. So at installation, I'm going to pick a point like right here. And this allows you to put in this, this bat right here. Goes into the wall, very straightforward, and it does that kind of a thing. And you're able to go ahead and kind of really update this thing pretty quickly. All right, now I'm zoomed in right now, and now it actually is behaving. Okay, so that's how you do this. Now, once you've done that, those are all the elements that I want you to do in this one right here. That's really all that I want you to do on this. Other than that, that's really it. Now, over here, what I've got is this says ceiling joist, and that's a 3/32 Arial font over here with a leader. So I got these different items right here. I'm going to put those in, and that's 1 inch equals a foot. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to change this to 1 inch equals a foot. And why am I doing that? Just let me point out why I'm doing this. Okay, so if I go over here, this says 1 inch equals a foot down here, and I want this to match that. So I go over here, and I change this to 1 inch equals a foot. And this also says the same thing on your documents. So I'll go to there, and then I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to text. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to choose. Now, this is where, as you're putting this in, you can put in a leader. Like right here, I can just put in text right now, and I can just type in text like that. Or what I can do is I can go ahead and add text with a leader. A leader is where you go here, and I go and click here and do this, do that, and type in text like that. And Rex, okay, text. Okay, so you do that. And that is how you go ahead and put those in there. Okay, so that is how that works. So we go ahead and have that, and that is how this would go together. So what I'm going to do now that I've done this, I'm going to backspace out of here all the way, and we'll do this together. So I'm going to backspace out of here. Okay, so we can all do this together so we can make it happen. And I'm going to go all the way back to here. And there we go. So now we're back to here and nothing exists. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start at level 1. And with level 1 looking like this right here, we're going to do there. So let me give you your screens back, and we'll go to level 1. So over to here, we're going to go ahead and stop showing my screen, and we are going to go to level 1. So go to level 1. Level 1. Okay, now once you click on level 1, we are going to build this thing. So to build it, we are going to do this. Now, as I'd said, what you got to do is you have to go ahead, and the first thing you have to do is you have to make a section. So what I'm going to do is right up here, this is the section tool. Remember, it's up here to the immediate left of the thicken line tool, the thin line tool, which is right there. So click on section, click right there. And then you're going to go right here, just like I did before. You're going to go ahead and you're going to click right here, and you're going to bring it straight down. And it won't show you anything, just like I'm doing, and it'll give you a little warning. That's okay. To clear the warning, you hover your cursor over the far right, and you'll see that you'll see a red square with a little white X on it. Go ahead and click on that to close out of it. And where did that go? All right. Why did that just do that? All right, so now I just did that. Now that I've done that, what I want to do is I have to, and I should have it in there, now I have to go down here to my reveal hidden elements. That's the blue light bulb, so I click on that. And when you click on this, you should see this. It should look like this right now. When you click on the blue light bulb, it should, you guys all seeing that now? Okay, click on this line. Click on the line of the section you just made. Click on the line of the section, and then you're going to right click and go to unhide in view category, and then you're going to click on that the light bulb's now yellow. Click on that light bulb, and you go back to here, and it should look like that right now. That's how you make a section. All right, and let me check and see if you guys all got that. So let me see if you all got that. All right. All right, now, yes, okay, you probably did. Now, here's what we do. We need to refine the section because as it is right now, yeah.
I've got two of them for some reason.
Okay, you may have done it twice, but that's okay. You select one of them. Click on the line and just go ahead and delete it. And so get rid of one of them. And we're going to adjust the actual section boundary for the other one. So this is how you do that. Click on this line right here. Click on that line. And you'll see the section boundary out here. It's a light blue line. See that? You guys see that light blue dashed line? You guys see that?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to grab the control. See the control here at the bottom? You're going to just drag it up like this. And then you're going to drag this one backwards like this. And you're going to drag this one down. So it's a very, very tiny area that you want to define. So it's defined just like that. That's what you want to do. That's what you want it to look like. And once you get it looking like that, you're going to double click on the triangle that's right here. And when you do that, it should look like this. So go ahead and double click on it. It should look like that. And then we will start to build it out. Okay. Okay. Okay, and you might need to tweak it a little bit. If you're not seeing exactly what you want to see in your section, here's what you can do. Take a look at my screen. If you click on this viewport, which is a rectangle, you can go ahead and just adjust it like this. You can make it wider. You can kind of narrow it down. You just want to go ahead and do that and just kind of refine it, and then just go ahead and zoom into it when you're all done. And then you can also hide the levels. So to hide the levels, you can click on one of these level lines, right click and go to hide in view, and we're going to hide that category, and then it's going to look like this. And this gives us our very plain view like you see here.
I got the wall section. I just don't have the blue line that shows.
Okay, yeah, click on the blue light bulb. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, let me jump in there real quickly. Not sure what's going on there, but let me try that again. All right, let me go here. Grab the remote control. Okay, so we got this. Okay, so we got this. And okay. Like that. All right, that should be good. All right, and then I'm going to give that back to you. Okay, so that's pretty good there. All right, how's everyone else doing? You guys, Quinn, you got yours okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It shows it.
Yeah, looks good. Okay. All right, and we can refine this. Part of what we're learning right now is the visualization or views in Revit. You can go ahead and you can fix these and you can change it. Like, so if you get into the view and it looks like, let's say it looks like this, it's kind of clipping some off. That's where if you just click on this frame right here, this is a viewport, you can actually take it and just widen it, and you can adjust it like I'm doing right now. So that is what you want to do, just like that. Okay, so now that we have this and it's looking like that, what we want to do is we now want to go ahead and we want to build it out. Okay, so now it's missing information. Now remember, we can go down here, and down here, you remember our scale down here. What is the scale right now by default?
3/16.
Yeah, 3/16 of an inch equals a foot. Let's click on that, and let's go up here, and let's make it 1 inch equals a foot. So change this to 1 inch equals a foot. Do that. And if it asks you to save the project, go ahead and save it. I just did. All right, so you've got that. And then once you've made it 1 inch equals a foot, you want to go to this tool. This is the detail level. And change it from coarse to fine. And you're going to see these lines in here, just like that, which is what you want. So you want to see those lines just like this. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay, I think we're getting there. Okay, now that we've done this, we're going to zoom into the very bottom. Zoom into the very bottom. What we're going to do is we're going to put in the elements we talked about. Going to put in the elements that we talked about. So to do this, we're going to go over here. And now what you want to do is when you're working with Revit, you have these different tabs at the top that give you different tool access. We're going to go here to Annotate. So click on Annotate. When you click on Annotate, it looks like this. And now what we want to do is we want to go over here to where it says Component. And if you click the little triangle underneath Component, you can go to Detail Component, which is what you want. So you want to choose Detail Component. And then, are you guys seeing the anchor bolt hook side right there? You guys seeing that? Okay, just go ahead and take it and drop it just like this. We'll reposition it in a minute. Just go ahead and drop it. And then you can press your escape key a couple times to clear that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to grab one of the studs. So to grab the studs, we go back here to Component. We click on this drop down here and go to Detail Component again. And then we click on this arrow here, and we're going to go down here to Nominal Cut Lumber Section 2x4. So we're going to go here and grab the 2x4, and we bring it right here. And you can just go ahead and use your space bar to flip it. And you're going to place it just like that. And then when you do, it should look like this. So go ahead and zoom into that so I can see if you guys got that. And what you're doing right now is you are cheating. You're taking this Revit plan and you're adding 2D CAD elements to actually make it, say what you need it to say, because Revit on its own is not getting us there. So you want to do that. So you want to make sure that that's into that position right there. Okay, and okay, good. You guys are killing it right now. You're doing great. So you got this. Now, one thing I was going to say is, if you click on this anchor bolt, you can pull this down a little bit like that, which actually is how I did it, just because it makes a little more sense. And then what we're going to do is we are going to zoom up to the top here. And remember, we need a couple more. If you take a look at the plan there, you've got a double top plate. It looks like my leader is not pointing to it properly, but yeah, that's a double top plate. And so to do this, we go here to Component again. And I want to bring this in here. I want to go ahead and put this here like this. And I want to do that. I want to add another one right here, just like that. All right, and you have those. Oh, do it one more time. All right, you want to put one more right there. So you want to have a couple stacked up just like that. And that is totally conventional framing right there that you see there. Okay, good. Now, next thing we want to do is we're going to put in our insulation. Now, the insulation is this tool right here. It's on the Annotate tab. It says insulation, and it lets you basically put, basically wall bat inside here. So we'll click on this, and if you just want to kind of center it right there, and it should be perfect. I think I've already set this up, so you shouldn't have to adjust it at all. And just bring it down to the bottom, just like that. And there's your insulation. And again, these are all details that you have to put in. Revit's not going to do it for you. Okay, you guys are doing great. And you want to go ahead and save your work. You don't want to lose that, so save it. Okay, now, next thing is up here. We talked about this. I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to put my Post-it note on top of here. And this is actually up here under Region, and it's called a masking region. This lets me go ahead and put a little sticky note on top of it, or a masking tape. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to use a rectangle option here. So go to rectangle, and when I do that, you're going to notice over here for the lines, I can use invisible lines, or I can actually have some lines on top of it. I'm going to use invisible lines, and I'm just going to go from here, and I go over to here, and bring it just over here like this. And I'll go ahead and drop it like this, like that. And I'll hit the green check mark, and boom, you are looking good. Just looks like that. Now, I actually covered the top and the bottom, but that's okay, because I can go ahead and add that. So I'm going to go to here. Yeah, and you kind of notice that depending upon how you're zooming, it might be a little bit weird. But if you go to detail line here, I'm just going to use, now detail line is right here, detail line. It's right there. So you click on detail line, and then you can make the lines that you need to go ahead and clean this up, just like that. And somehow that became a hidden line, which I don't know why it did. I just want it to be a line. So I'll go to detail line again. All right, I'm going to go here, there. Guess I'll use thin lines. I want to use thin lines. Like that. Okay, when I zoom out, I get that kind of view there, which is exactly what it should look like, where you actually still have the sheathing on the outside, but you have the joist sitting on top, and that's what that should look like. So you just want to go ahead and work with it, and you can actually change the lines as you need to and so forth. But just try to get that masking in there, and again, as you're zooming in and out, you'll probably see the same problem that I have, where it's actually going to kind of like mask it. And it's going to kind of like mask too much. That's, again, it's a graphics driver thing, so I wouldn't, don't get yourself worried about that. As long as you got the basics in there right there, we could always refine it. Okay, so that is what that looks like. Now, let me see how you guys are doing here. Looks good, looks good. You getting the idea? Yep, you're getting the idea. Now, the last thing we're going to do is put in our leaders. Okay, so to put in the leaders, take a look at your sheet. On page A5, you're going to put these in now. So you got asphalt shingles, half-inch plywood, and so forth. So I'm just going to go ahead and start by doing this, by clicking on text. Yes? Okay. What's that now? Oh, they're green. Yep, I'll show you why. And the thing is, there are different kinds of lines here. So if I grab this right here, and if I change it from lines to thin lines, it won't be green anymore. And this one too. And so I'll go here and I'll make it thin lines. Yeah, lines, if you just use lines, they're going to be green because they're kind of a temporary marking type thing. So that's what you have there. Okay, very good. And now, I'll let that go. Now the next thing we're going to do, last bit, is we're going to put in all the text we see there. Now, so go to text. And 3/32 aerial is right. Now, I want to make sure I use a leader. These are 2 segment leaders. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to start by just pointing right to here. And I'm going to go here and kind of pull it over and go like that. And that's going to be asphalt shingles and so forth. And you're going to go ahead and put these in right now. Excuse me. Whoa. I really meant it that time. All right, all right. There we go. And so this is the kind of thing that you actually do, that you have to do to actually get this to work. And it's a really important part of the job. It might seem a little tedious, but this has to happen. And as you're working with it right now, you can see you'll be able to put these in here, and this is actually going to complete the project here. So I'm just going to continue doing this. What's that?
How do you add the arrow?
When you get into the text, you choose one of these.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I just started.
Yep. That's good. That's good. And this will be your double top plate right here. Bless you. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Looks like you guys are all pretty much there. You want to make sure you save your work, and then we will continue on there. So that right there is probably one of the toughest things about this project as you're working with it. That's a tough one right there because as you're working with it right there, you got to place these items and get them there. The text looks a little on the small side. We might need to change that. Might need, let me see if the text should be larger. Let me see here. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to grab all my text and I'm going to, yeah, what you can do is you can select all your text and then you can change it to 1/4" Arial like that. And that kind of, yeah, that's what you want to do. And so when you grab that, you're able to go ahead and just to go ahead and make that work. And yeah, that's what you do. So what I did is I just, what you could do is just click on, okay, just to show you how to work this. Okay, because what's happening is my text is too small. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this. So what you want to do is you want to select just one piece of text. And then when you click on one piece of text, you're going to right click and go to select all instances, visible in view right here. And when you do this, you select all the text like that. And then you can change it right here, all in one fell swoop, 1/4" Arial, which is what you want, which will make it a little more readable. And then just got to reposition a little bit, which, you know, again, kind of a pain, but oh well. We can do that. and we can make that work. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I didn't realize it was too small, but that's what you can do. It's kind of a little nitpicky thing, but you know, it does count. Just going to grab these things and see if I can't move them down a little bit. Oh, no, don't do that. Yeah, all right. And then at that point, you can just kind of like grab these and move them around a little bit. And again, using and getting used to the text tools is, you know, a little thing we're going to be doing right now too. So that's what you guys are doing right now. Yeah, something like that. Just got to kind of reposition a little bit. So yeah, my apologies. I should have actually caught that before, but oh well. Life goes on. All right, and we just reposition these as we need to and kind of get these where they need to go like that. All right, and then when you're all set, you will have it looking something like that. And then one thing about this is there is this line around the perimeter. Okay, this is known as the crop region. Now the crop region is what actually is used if you've ever done any kind of cropping. Well, we used to do back when we actually used to do photography and this kind of thing. Cropping is when you take a photograph and you'd crop it, you'd kind of make it smaller, just cut a section out, and that's what we have here. Now, this right here is your crop region, whether you want to see it or not. You can turn it on or off right here. It looks like a crop region with a light bulb. And so you just click on that and turn it off. When you turn that off, it does that. So it cleans it up, and then you have that. So save your work, and we're running out of time. So we're going to do a little bit more here. I'm just going to move this down here. We're just about as far as we're going to be able to. We're going to go a little bit further tonight, and then we're going to take it from. We're going to. I think we might just about be able to finish this, but we're just going to push into the next thing. So save your work. And what we're going to do now is we're going to begin to populate our sheets. Now, as you take a look right now, this set right here, this right here, is essentially what your construction documents are. And we have the beginnings to those right now. So to do this, what you're going to do is down here in your project browser. Can you guys see where I'm at right now? Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to take over your screen just for a minute here. So just I'm going to give you 30 seconds. So just save your work. And I'll give you 30 seconds. I'm going to take over your screens. Okay, and what we're going to do now is I'm going to take over your screens. I'm going to show you how to put these in here. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to show the full screen here. And try this again. All right. So now let me show you how this works. So now that we got this right here to put this onto sheets, okay? Can you guys see my screen? Okay, so I'm going to go down here to my project browser. Down here we have sheets, and I've already started some sheets for you. So I'll click on plus, and we'll go here to A0 cover sheet. Now you're going to notice on the cover sheet we don't have anything there yet. Okay, so we're going to get to that in a minute. But you see it's got a sheet list here. A0 is your cover sheet. A1 is a first floor plan. A2 is a second floor plan, and so on. Let's just see what it looks like right now. So I'm going to go to A1 first floor plan. I go here, and right now there's my A1 first floor plan, and there's nothing there. Okay, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to get my floor plan. I'm going to grab level 1. Just going to drag it and pull it right like here like this. I'm going to drop it. And it looks awfully small, okay? And it is small. So what I'm going to do is to change that. Let's take a look right now. Take a look at your A1. Look at the A1 in your set of construction documents. And what is the scale that you see there at the lower left?
3/8.
Yeah, can you guys see there? It says level 1, 3/8 of an inch equals a foot. Can you guys see that? Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, if you see here, it says 3/16. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double click on this, and I'm going to go down here and change it to 3/8 of an inch equals a foot, which is right there, and it's going to make that bigger. And then to go back to just the regular sheet view, you double click outside of the sheet like this. And when you double click outside the sheet like that, okay, right now that's you see how this kind of grayed out the actual sheet, but if you double click here, it goes black again. So that's what you do. And then you just select it, and then you're just going to move it until it's kind of in the middle of your sheet here. And that's what it should look like right there. Now, that being the case right there, what I've got going on right there, that's the A1 first floor plan. That's good. And then I need to kind of bring it down just a little bit further. And I'm going to do that. And my dimensions need to be changed a little bit. Now, here's the thing. When you're working with these right here, if I go back to my level 1, actually, I want to go back to my level 1 over here. So if I go to level 1 over here, and if I take a look at this, I can kind of adjust this here. Now, what I want to do is I want to hide the section markers. I don't need those anymore. So I click on one of these. I'm going to right-click and hide in view this category. Don't need to see those. And then what I can do is I can kind of pull these down a little bit. I can grab my dimensions, and I can just kind of like do this, kind of push them back a little bit. So they're just a little, they're a little tidier. And that should look pretty good. So let me look at my first floor plan. Yeah, that's looking better. So I can grab this and pull it. And then here's the thing. To adjust these, I can actually grab this little title. I click on the title, and you see my little move arrow shows up. And so a little badge shows up there, and I'm able to do that. Now, you're able to kind of like do these and just kind of like do the adjustments on the actual view, and then you can actually take a look at it here, or you can double click in here and change it around. If I click right here on this viewport right here, you see this little circle here? If I click on this viewport here, I can then take this and pull it over like that. Okay, so that's how that works. So if I click on this, it lets me do that. If I click on this, I can pull the thing around, and that's how that works. And if I double click inside here, I'm actually inside of this viewport right there. And you can see all this is on right here. So I can actually even change this to different views if I want to. And but for right now, I'm just going to leave it like that. And then to release it, you double click outside of it. So that is how you would create your sheets. So you've got that. So that's my first sheet. That's A1. And so I'm just going to go here. And that's pretty much ready to go. And you want to compare it with your A1 sheet. Now I'm going to go to my sheet, my second sheet here. So go to my second floor plan here. And you guessed it, I'm going to grab my level 2 and pull that over here. So I'm going to drop that there, and that's already 3/8. So that one, that's pretty much good to go. That one just goes right on there. That one's already 3/8. And I don't have my attic stair notation, but I could put that in. And that looks pretty good. Okay, so we're good to go there. Now, I'm going to go to A3. Now, A3 is the custom garage elevations. Now, let's go to A3. So I'm going to go here to A3. Now, watch this. This is kind of cool here. So go to A3, and I don't see any of my elevations here. So guess what? Right here, I click on my elevations. I'm going to grab east. I'm going to grab it and pull it right up here. And it goes right there. And then I'm going to grab north. And I'm going to bring it right up here. Drop it just like that. And then I'm going to grab south. And I'm going to bring it down to here. And these go in just beautifully. And then I go to grab west. And I bring it over here. And so all this right here, and notice what it's doing right there. It's actually making the eaves line up right there. Really cool. And so that is how you'd actually want those to look. Now this one, not quite where, yeah, now they're, can you guys now see that they're lined up just like that? So you have that, and that is, and then you would take this and you'd move these around as you need to kind of get them to look nice and neat. And neatness does count. You want to make sure that they're all kind of aligned and so that they don't look goofy. You want to go ahead and do that. I'll do the same thing here, and we'll do that. And I'll click on the edge here, and we'll go here and do this like that. Okay, so I've got that right there. So that is how you would do your elevation. So you go ahead and pull those like that. And so now those went along really quite easily. And then I go down here to my foundation plan. Now the foundation plan, I didn't make it yet. So that's something we got to make. I should have had us do that first. So let's do this. We're going to skip over that for right now. I guess maybe we'll leave that. Yeah, we'll leave that for a moment. Let's go to wall section. Let's go to A5. And we go to A5. There's nothing there, so I'm going to go here, and I've actually got my my sections right here. It says sections, building sections. I'll click the plus sign here. And I'm going to grab this. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab this, aren't I? Yes, I guess so. Or let's see here. Grab this. And I drop that right there. And that's what that looks like. So you go ahead and drop that there. And there's that. And then the very last thing is going to be your schedules. And your schedules, right now, you click on this page, you got schedules, which are right here. So I click on the plus sign, and I'm going to grab my door schedule. I'm going to drop my door schedule here. And then I'm going to go to my window schedule. I'm going to drop my window schedule here. And that is how that works. So now the only thing left is, I'm going to save this. The only that's left is my my floor plan right there, my foundation plan. So I didn't do the foundation plan yet, so that is something I'm going to have to do right now. That's my footing. So let me take a look there. So let's go over to here, and let's go to up here to my footing plan. And when you go to footing, it looks like this. Okay, if you click on footing, it looks like that. Now, the only thing you have to put into footing right here, as you see right here, are just outside dimensions. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to make the dimensions going from here. Okay, it's not letting me do that. Let's try it again. Yeah, I'll go to here. There's that. I'll go from here to there, and that goes over there. So I've got that. So I've got that, and then the other thing I need is a note that says thickened. I'm going to make this in 1/4 inch. So go ahead and I'm going to make this one do here. I'm going to go ahead and make a note here. Thickened edge slab 12 inch by 24. Okay. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to place a. I've got a perimeter around here. I'm just going to grab that real quickly. Let me grab that. Let's see if I can do that. Wrong one. Yeah, I want this one. Okay, so I want that perimeter. So over here, this one right here, the length of it, it's 26 feet wide by 20 feet. 26 by 20 feet is the size of it. And that just kind of fits inside here. And it's a dashed line. So to do this, we're actually going to do, again, a little bit more of our fancy footwork here by going over here and making a detail line. Now, when I go to detail line, I can go here and I can change it. See this right here? I can change this to be a hidden line, just like that. And then I make a rectangle. So I go here, and I'm going to go ahead and click here, and I'm going to go ahead and go like this. And I will go ahead and go like that. And that's going to give me that. And let's see here. Do I want that to be hidden lines? Maybe hidden. Okay, and so I've got that. Is that hidden? That should be hidden. Maybe. Yeah, it should be hidden. Not hidden lines, but hidden. So I'll go ahead and make it hidden. And I'm just clicking on these lines one at a time. And when I do that, I can change them by going up here. See that right there? And make it hidden. And now they're all black. Now the size of it, I want to go here. And that's 20 feet, so that's correct. And then I'm going to click right here. This should be 26 feet. 26 feet 6. I'm just going to go ahead and grab this line and drag it over a little bit like this. And we'll see if that's right now. 20 feet and 25 feet 6. I make it 26. Just go ahead and type in 26 like that. Okay, and then when I got that, I can then move I can move all those together. So if you want to move all these lines together, if I hover my cursor over one and press my tab key, I can just click and I just move them till they're centered. And for this, right now, we're just going to go ahead and do it like that, just kind of eyeball it right there because it kind of centers itself right there. So it's 26 by 20, so we're actually good to go. And that's what that looks like. So when we're all done, we're going to go here and we're going to go down here to the foundation plan, and I'm going to drag that onto there. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to grab my foundation, my footing, I'm going to drag it out to here, and boom, there we have it. So that is how that goes right there. Now this is a complete set of plans, with just one exception, and we're kind of running out of time here. So this is what we're going to do here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to undo all this right here, and then we're going to do this together. So let me do this. We'll kind of step through a few steps here. If I can do that, let me do it. Okay, and then we're going to go to second floor, first floor, okay. Just get everything out of there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now nothing's in here. So now I'm going to give you back your screens, and then we'll do this together. So I'm going to go here, and we're going to go to stop showing teacher screen, and now we're going to go ahead and let's do this together. So now we're going to start this by going over here, as I showed you. You want to go down here to where it says sheets, and let's go to cover sheet just to kind of orient ourselves. So just go ahead and let's go to cover sheet, and it should look like this, custom garage. Go ahead and just pull that up so I can verify we're all seeing the same thing. So pull up that custom garage. Okay, so you want to go to this this view right here, custom garage. Let's go ahead and grab that section right there. Let's go there. Okay, I see some of you guys are not doing that. All right, what we're doing right now is we're going here. We're just going over here under sheets, and we're double clicking on cover sheet. Let's just all do that, please, and then we'll can kind of work on some other stuff later if you can see it. So let's go there. And I realize you may want to do something else, but let's go ahead and do that. Right. All right, not showing that you guys are all going there, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Okay, all right, Anna's there. Are you there right now?
She stepped out for a second.
Oh, she stepped out. Okay, okay, sorry about that. Okay, let's do this then. So let's go ahead and continue on here. So now, to put in this custom garage right there, Anthony, I'm just curious, how did you go ahead and put that in there? How'd you do that?
Just press the 3 keys and just drag it in.
Just drag it in? Okay, very good. Okay, yes, you can actually do a couple different things here to put in the custom garage view. So this is what we're going to do right now. Let's go ahead and you can do this a couple different ways. I'll show you a couple different ways to do this. Let's go over here to our 3D view. So click on 3D view right here. So click on your default 3D view and make it look roughly like that. Let's make it look like that. And there's a couple different ways we can actually go about changing this right now. Now this view, if we don't want it to keep changing on us, we can actually do a snapshot of this view right now. So get the view to look like this, and I think if you go to home, or yeah, roughly like this, yeah, kind of like that. So you want to get that view. Now we want to save this view. So to save this view, you want to get it like this, and then you want to go over here and you want to save the view. So over here, if you click on this plus sign, it says 3D views, it's going to say 3D right here. Do you guys see that? Okay, click right there and just call it exterior view. Like that, exterior view, and that's what we're going to use. And that exterior view, that 3D view, we're going to take and drag that onto our first sheet. So with that view right there, that 3D view, we go to our first sheet, which is going to be the cover sheet. And when you go to the cover sheet, we're going to drag that exterior view right onto here, just like that. And we're going to drop it just like that. And that gives you a very neat and tidy version of this. There's a number of ways to do this, but that's the fastest and quickest way for right now. Let's go ahead and get that on there. So go ahead and drop that on your cover page. Okay. Okay. And once that's on your cover page, then what we're going to do is we're going to continue on there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take and drag the next sheet. We go to our second sheet, which is first floor plan. We're going to go here, and we're going to drag our first floor plan. So we go up here to our project browser, and let's, first of all, before we do that, let's open up level 1. Let's open up level 1, and when you go there, we're going to take a look at it, and let's prep it so that it's ready to go into our sheet. So we're going to hide. You just want to hide the section marker. So you click on the section marker, and you're going to go to hide in view that category. So we're going to do that. And then I need to pull these down a little bit. Just going to drag these down so it's like that. And that's going to look like that. And then at that point, we're ready to go. So once I've got that, we're good to go. The only thing I need to do is change the scale, because my scale is set to 3/16 of an inch equals a foot. Yours, it probably is too. So you're going to change that to 3/8 of an inch equals a foot, and that should look like that. And then once you have that, that is the view that we're going to drag onto our first floor plan. So I go over here to the first floor plan, and I'm going to drag that on there. So at level 1, I drag it over here, and I drop it like that. And I can just go ahead and kind of adjust it as I need to. And I got that kind of a view just like that. And we are good to go. And that is a match. That's how we go ahead and place that. So we place that on there. And so now we've got the cover sheet and the first floor plan. And we're good to go. That's how that works. And again, if you need to go back to the view, level 1, and adjust it, you can do that. You can go to level 1 and adjust it all you need to. So you can just go ahead and go to level 1. And make that happen as you're doing that. So level 1, you go there, and we just turn that off. Okay, now we're going to go to the second floor plan. So go to our sheets again and go to the second floor plan. Now we open this up, and when you go to second floor plan, we're going to drag the sheet, the view over. So at level 2 here, we drag it over here, and we drop it just like that. And there it is. That is there. Now the only thing we need on there that it doesn't show is we need it to say attic stairs. Okay, so we need to put the attic stairs in there. So to do this, we go back to level 2, and we're just going to put in a note that says attic stairs. So I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to change this to quadrant area. I'm going to go ahead and point to this, and I'm going to make it say attic stairs. Like that. All right. And it looks like that. And then if you take a look at your second floor plan, if I'm looking at the right one, I think I am. Did I not save it? That should have worked. Let's go to here again. Yeah, it says, yeah. Okay, let me save that. Why did it? Okay, save it. Okay, looks like I might have hidden that. Huh, weird. That is, huh. All right, well, for right now, don't worry about that. We'll come back to that. For some reason, that's not showing up here. I don't want to try to figure it out. So let's forget that. We'll keep on going down. And let's go to, let's go down here to the elevations, A3. Now, when you go to the elevations, these should easily pull over from one side to the other. So we got east, the elevations, building elevations, and these should be scaled correctly already. So we're going to go and just drag these over just like I'm doing right now. And you're going to notice that they're going to want to align themselves. They're going to want to align themselves. Just go ahead and let them. And as you go ahead and work with this, you're going to be able to kind of make these work just like I'm doing right now. And that is how that's going to happen, like this. All right, we do all that. We drop it just like there. And then this would need to come down. So those are pretty straightforward. Let me see what you guys are doing here. Yeah, you guys are getting there? Okay. All right. And that is how we go ahead and put in those elevations. And yes, we just drag them right over. So those are the building elevations. We drag them over onto sheet A3. Okay. All right. Okay, and then we continue on. Then we go down here. We go to the A4 foundation plan. We'll go here, and we're going to drag the foundation plan over there. So we go here to the. Oh, we got to clean up that foundation plan. So let's go here to the footing plan. And when you go to the footing plan, it looks like this. So let's go to the footing plan. Let's go ahead and get out to here. And we're going to have to end, I think, a little bit early because we're not going to quite finish this tonight. So we're going to just stop after this. So let's go here to this floor right here. This is the footing plan right here. And when you go to the footing plan, this is actually sheet A4. And on sheet A4, there's a couple of details we want to put in here. First thing you want to do is you want to put in your exterior dimensions. So go here. So pick here to there. And we pick the exterior dimension just like that. Then we go like this to here. And we go ahead and place those like that. So that's 24 by 30 inches. You want to put those in. Okay, and then the next thing we want to do is we want to put in this detail line. Now we go to detail line right here, we can change it to be hidden. So we want to use hidden. When you use hidden, we can just go ahead and make a rectangle. And this needs to be 20 by 26 by 20. So I'm just going to click here. I'm going to go ahead and I can actually just kind of like grab it and do 26 by 20 like that. And once it's together, I can just go ahead and I press the escape key. And then to move it, I hover the cursor over one of the lines and press the tab key and click on it. Then I just use my arrow keys to move them all at once. You can move them one at a time, but you can just do it this way. And for our purposes, we're just going to go ahead and do that just like I've got right there. We could do this a few other ways, but for right now, that's how you go ahead and make that work. And that is what you want that to look like. Yeah, and Jake, you want to make sure your wall section is set at 1 inch equals a foot, so that if you make the scale 1 inch equals a foot, your text should look better. Okay, I'm going to have to kind of wrap it up, guys. So I thought we could get done. I forgot about this right here. Let's just call tonight. We're going to stop right there because I got to get out of here for the next class coming in. So save your work right there. And so now, let me just kind of put a bow on this right now. As you're working with this right now, we're going to have some time to finish this next week. If you were kind of behind, try to spend some time to get that kind of together because I realize that right now it's easy to get behind. We're going to be starting another project next week. We're going to wrap this one up in the first few minutes because there's not that much here. And then after that, we're going to work on the next project. So that's what's happening. Now, again, there is no class on this Thursday, which is the 5th, and there's not going to be any class on the 12th. So those two, we will not have it. So save your work, and we are going to go ahead, and that's going to be it for tonight. So save your work, and we're going to continue doing this. I don't want to rush too much because there's a lot here, and I thought I could fit it all in. I usually do this in 3 nights, but we were doing so well, I thought we'd finish it, but kind of hit the wall. And that's how that works sometimes. But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap that up and make sure you save your work so you don't lose it. So save your work. And let's all do that. And we're going to stop there. Before I let you guys go, are there any questions at all for me at all? Okay. All right. We'll wrap that up a little bit here. And all right, if you need to stick around for a few minutes to kind of wrap that up, we can. I noticed, like Kenai, I know you had to step out, so if you need a little hand getting stuff together here, I can get you kind of caught up a little bit here. Other than that, we can we can take it from there. So, all right, we'll see you now. Yep. Okay, I'm just going to stop this here.